Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to another game of Age of Empires 2, Player 1 versus the hardest AI. So I've actually not played Age of Empires in a little while, a couple of weeks, and I'm making this for my brother Kenneth, shout out to Kenneth, um, because I've moved away to a new city, and the ping is horribly high, and so we're not able to play against each other. So this is what we're doing instead. We're playing against the AI, and then showing each other what we can do, and then uploading it to YouTube so everybody can have a wee watch. So in this game, I am playing as the Indians, which is a good civilization. Let's start there. And we're playing against the Chinese. So the reason I'm playing against the Chinese and all my games against the AI, I will play against the Chinese, is because they're such a flexible civilization. They've got a very open tech tree, and they can basically go for any strategy they want, really. So it's good to play against the Chinese because you never know quite what you're going to be up against. So if we have a quick look at the tech tree for the Indians, I'm a camel and gunpowder civilization, which, spoiler, I didn't really take full advantage of in this game. One of the best things about the civilization is that the villagers cost less. So every time you make a village, you're actually saving some food. And my unique unit is going to be the Elephant Archer, a very tanky unit, can take a lot of shots. And I made some of them later on in the game. Didn't really go for camels. And that's it, really. So we've got not a great archery range in terms of archers, no arbalest, which is a problem, but we do get champion and halberdier, no knightline at all. I think it's the only civilization that doesn't get knights, apart from the Meso and South American civs. But we get the full hussar line and the full camel line, including a unique unit, Imperial Camel, and then the rest of the tech tree is not too bad. Good monastery. The siege workshop could be better, and the blacksmith is excellent, only just missing that final armor upgrade for cavalry. So let's get back to the game and let's see what's happening here. Not a brilliant start. You can see that I've got 6 villagers on sheep here, but they weren't gathering underneath the town centre, and it did take me a little while to find my sheep, which is not that good. So I'm just going to turn off Fog of War and go into view lock so we can see where I'm going around the map. I'm sending some villagers over to wood. I think I'm going to aim for 4 villagers on wood to begin with, and collecting my sheep, getting them back to the town centre. And if we take myself off view lock and turn on Fog of War, we can see that I'm scouting around in circles around my original starting place. So trying to keep that scout moving. And one of the things that I do with the game is I use a control group. So the way to do that is select the unit, press control, and then the numbers above the keyboard, 1 to 0, press control and press one of those numbers. I normally go control 0 for my scout. So if I'm in the middle of a game, I can find my scout really easily just by hitting 0. Nice and easy. So here we have the 4th villager going over to the wood. Now this wood line is not too bad. Oh, I pressed the wrong button there. Not too bad. Lots of wood there, and I do have one wood line that's a little closer, and I know that later on in the game I will be switching over to that wood line so that I'm not overcrowding the wood line, so the villagers will work more efficiently, and it'll just give me that little bit more of efficiency in the long run. So this game, I think I will send a village over to gold quite early, just collect 10 gold near the beginning of the game, building another house, because I'm pretty sure in this game I don't get population capped. So that builder who was building the house, she goes over and grabs the boar. Boar are advantageous to get, but a risk at the same time, because you do risk your villager getting damaged or worse, getting killed. But your villagers will gather more quickly and will carry more food when they're gathering from a boar, and you can take them directly under your town centre, which I'm attempting to do here. The boar kind of bugs out a little bit, and not directly underneath the town centre, not the biggest deal, but so a little bit of efficiency lost there. So let's see what the Fog of War looks like. So my scout, he's sitting doing nothing at the moment, but he's going out doing a little bit more more scouting for me, and let's see what my view lock is like. So I'm looking for my other boar, looking to see what's going on. I'm now moving over to berries. Now that mill position that I've put here for the berries isn't ideal because it's butted right up against, and my villagers are gathering from like the furthest point, so I'm going to move my villagers to gather from the nearest berries first so they don't have as far to walk, so it just makes it a little bit more efficient. Garrisoning my villagers to make sure that I have enough food going, so that's the fourth villager on to berries, and I don't believe that I moved him to move to a closer one, so lost a little bit of efficiency there. And when you're playing Age of Empires, it's all about the tiny little efficiencies, trying to make your economy as efficient as possible. Now I'm just getting my two villagers that were gathering from the sheep to gather from the boar, just to get the last of that in as quickly as possible, and as I said, moving over to this wood line here to build another lumber camp. I've spotted some sheep over here, which is good. Now you'll know in Age of Empires that sheep always come in pairs, so if you find one, there's another one nearby. That's a good tip to have. And I think if we go over here, no, not seen it yet. So 7 minutes into the game, and I've got quite a fairly basic economy going. I'm building houses. I don't want to be population capped. Definitely not. Oh, there's a villager here. She's doing nothing. I wonder how long she's going to be doing nothing for. And then I've got a builder over here, and she's going to be going to build a barracks. And I've got another hunter over here to get the second boar. I'm going to try really hard not to get him killed. Because losing a villager in the Dark Age will add up to a lot of lost resources. Now, I have not got loom yet. You can tell I've not got loom because I do have 110 gold. And so if you're not that good at a boar lure, it's a good idea to get loom first. It gives your villager more armor, more attack, and the boar dies just outside of the town centre. Not ideal, but slightly closer than the other one. I would like it to be sort of in this position here. That would be ideal for me. Just worried about that. Enemy scout taking my sheep, so move him right into the town centre, so these two villagers will move over. And I'm still creating villagers. That villager gets created, and then another one should be queued up immediately. There we go, there's the other villager. And where's my scout? He's over here. I'm actually going to control group him for myself. Control 0. So you can see the little 0 next to him. So if I'm over here at my town centre, I press 0 twice, and the camera will zoom over to the scout. Now if you just press the 0 once, it'll select the scout, press it again, and it will pan over to the scout. Oh, now I am looking for the enemy. He's probably not going to be over in this corner. And normally on this map type is Arabia. You'll sort of find your opponent to be in an opposite part of the map to you. So I'm expecting my enemy to be over here somewhere. Now you can see in the score that I am a little bit ahead. I've tried to continuously scout, and I've actually got 3 military units. So I'll probably have 3 more military units than him, and that's where the lead is coming from. Now, if we look very carefully over here, I do spot this in the game, but the scout is over here doing some scouting, and he just passes something. Let's see if we can find it. It might not be on this pass, it might be on the next pass. Looks like it's not on this pass, so I'll try and remember to come back over to him. So I've got lots of villagers on wood, starting to make some farms. I've got 2 villagers on gold because I know that I want to have the man-at-arms upgrade in the next age, and I want to be making more than the 3 militia that I already have, but they're just chilling out in the barracks at the moment. Because I've not found the enemy, I've not really scouted. Not really scouted my enemy yet. There's no point in me going to try and find the enemy and rush him. So I've got an idle villager here. What are you doing? He's going to go away. He's going to build something. What's he going to build? Probably another house. Yeah, there's another house over here. So I think my Dark Age economy is not too bad. Now, if I was playing against a human player, I would wall in between these houses, wall up to this wood line. I've scouted that there's a gap here, so I'd wall in here. I know that there's no gap here, so I'll probably wall to the stone, to the barracks, to the house. But because I'm playing against the AI, there's really no point in walling. Even though it's the hardest AI, they're not going to rush me too early. In fact, even though he's up to the feudal age, I'm not too worried about it at all. Okay, here's the second pass. The scout's coming back this way. Because I did think the enemy was going to be over in this position, but then I see a relic. And the relic tells me that my enemy's not going to be anywhere near, so I go and look for somewhere else. Now there's 4 deer here, that's a bit of a clue. There's often 4 deer near-ish your base, so I was thinking he's going to be over here somewhere. And here's some stone, so here's some clues, and this is the biggest clue. There is a tree that's been chopped, so I know that's where my enemy is. So I don't need to go any further. I don't want to lose my scout. I just want to scout the rest of the map as much as I can. But as the game goes on, scouting becomes less and less important. So I am going for the man-at-arms upgrade. A little bit of a defensive wall at the front, but I'm not going mad walling. Just trying to protect this hill, because this hill will become advantageous for me if he does come and rush towards me. So I've got my man-at-arms here. I've got 3, and another 3 being created, and I'm making myself an archery range. And with this archery range, I'm probably going to go for some skirmishers straight away. Because if my enemy has archers, skirmishers counter archers tremendously. And if he has skirmishers, well, they don't do too badly. So I've got 3 skirmishers being made straight away, and I've got my man-at-arms. I'm just going to pop them out, and I'm going to wander over here and send my scout back. So my scout's going to come back, and these man-at-arms are going to head over. And I've got blacksmith being constructed, so I'm going to get the armor upgrade for my man-at-arms, and I'm going to get my fletching upgrade for any of the archers that I have, and get rid of this wolf that's being attacked by. Where are you going, guys? You're going in the wrong direction. I'm going to control group these. Number 9. And they're heading in the wrong direction, so that's cost me a little bit of time. As I said, I did eventually realise that I'd seen a chopped down tree over this side, and so I'll redirect my forces, just waiting for everybody to get all gathered together. I've got my skill mill armour being researched, and I'm saving up a little bit of gold. I'm not making any more gold units, I'm not making any more man-at-arms, and I've just got a little bit of a defensive wall, but I'm not going to wall the whole base. As I said, it's not really prudent. Kind of a waste of resources to wall your whole base against the AI, because they don't really rush you like that. So here I've got my army coming over, a few more another man-at-arms, a few more skirmishers, and I have seen this chopped down tree, so that's where I'm going for. And I was going to try and man-at-arms rush them, but 17 minutes, way too late for any sort of rush like that. So what I'm going to do is, I know that the AI will have some military, and so what I'm going to do is try and disrupt his economy, and the best way to disrupt his economy is to look for wood, chopping villagers, and for gold miners, because if he doesn't have any gold, then he can't make archers, he can't make knights, he can't save up the 200 gold needed for the advancing to the castle age. So going for the gold is really good. Going for wood is also good, because it stops him making archers, it stops him making spearmen, and it stops him building the buildings that he wants to build. So my little army, actually not too bad an army, to be honest. Nice and strong. As I say, I've got the armor upgrade for my man-at-arms, and I should be researching my upgrade for my skirmishers. And here I found 5 villagers on gold, disrupting it, and I'm keeping an eye on this army. Not letting them go too close, not letting them really attack. I'm just trying to disrupt. I'm not really going for villager kills here, and I see he's got some spearmen, so here I'm going to retreat, because if I don't retreat, I'm just going to run into town centre fire. So I control my army in and make quick work of those spearmen. Now he's got quite a few spearmen, which is good for me, but he does have an archer or 2, so I'm going to take my skirmishers and focus down on those archers. retreat a little bit further back. He's got a lot of units. Now these archers are going to be very strong against my man-at-arms, so I'm going to retreat all the way back. Losing a man-at-arms there, not particularly good, and you can see back at my base I've got quite a few idle villagers on farms. Not ideal, but it does mean that I am concentrating on this fight out here. So I've lured them right away from their base, and then I'm going to be patrolling in, and I've got some archers and skirmishers coming up to deal with these archers here. So I should win this. I'm going to take some losses, but it's a good fight for me to be taking. I was prudent in making sure I had skirmishers to counter their archers, and my men-at-arms can get nice and close, weaken them a little bit, and then the skirmishers go in and finish them off. But they're microing their archers back, which is the way you should be doing it. Oh, there's my scout there to a few spearmen. But I'm really not too worried about this. That's a good win for me. And then I'm back here pressuring their gold again. This isn't ideal. Oh, lost all my army over there, but again, disrupting them on the gold and not allowing my army to go too close into his base because I'll just lose to the town centre fire. So he's got more spearmen coming out. I'm not too worried about all this. I know this army is going to get cleared up eventually, and I do have over here a few archers, so I'm switching to archers, and I think I do make another. I do make another archer range for double archer range archers, and again, I'm thinking he's a little bit strong here, so I'm just going to pull back a little bit, because I don't want to be facing his army, and then he retreats all the way back to his town centre, then I lose my entire army, and I forget about it for a second, so I'm pulling back, and then we'll patrol into them again, but this should be a piece of cake for me. Really not too worried about this. This is a good exchange for me. I've got a lot of use out of these units. I've pushed enough gold twice. I've taken out his army. This is the third time I think I've taken out an entire army of his. And I've got a good mix of units. I've got ranged units and I've got melee units, so it's all good from here. From my point of view, I think I'm doing quite well, and I'm saving up the resources to go to the next stage, so I'm still creating, still making units. I've got more archers coming, and here's my second archer range, and I've got more archers coming. No idle villagers around the town centre. I'm making houses because I know I'm going to be making more units. I've got a good lot of wood chopping villagers over here, so wood's not going to be a problem. I do find that if you run out of food, run out of wood, you're going to run out of food further down the line, so you need to make sure that you're banking a lot of wood because farms cost wood, and you convert them to, oh, this is not a good fight for me. So I think I'm going to lose all my man-at-arms here, but I think I've got some good value out of them, pushing them off gold for the time being, which is going to delay his up to Castle Age. Yeah, what was I saying? If you run out of wood now, you're going to run out of food further down the line. Lots of things cost food. Food is probably, for me, one of the most valuable resources. So here I've got lots of archers, and I'm not going to go and pressure him too much. Archers aren't going to really make a huge difference. They're not going to destroy any of his buildings, so there's no point in me rushing forward with these archers. I think I've done all the damage I want to do just now. He does have the lead at the moment, but I'm really close to the Castle Age. I don't want to pick up as soon as possible. So here I've got some more farms going down. I'm using some of that wood to convert it to food later on. Oh, my man-at-arms still going. And some pesky skirmishers, but I'm not too worried about any of that. So I've got a good number of farms, more farms being seeded, a good number of wood villagers, and I've gone up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on gold, and a couple on stone. So for later on, when I want to build town centres, if I want to build castles, I've got the stone there. It's good to go for the stone a little bit earlier, sort of late feudal age, early castle age, because you will want to be building some of those defensive buildings. So I've got my archers over here, got a fair few of them. Now I know that when I get to the next stage I want to make them into crossbowmen. I think maybe I slightly overinvested in crossbowmen because, as I said, I don't get Arbalists, so there's no upgrade for them really in the final age, in the Imperial Age. So I've got quite a few archers. I know I want to upgrade them. I don't want to get Bodkin Arrow. I know I want to get Thumb Ring. But also I've built another 2 barracks. I'm pretty sure if he sees all the archers that I've got, my opponent's going to go for knights, and that's not ideal because knights hard counter archers. So what I need is I need to get spearmen, so I need to get that spearman upgrade as soon as possible. So here I'm just about to upgrade to the Castle Age, and I think I'll be going for spearmen straight away, and I want a lot of spearmen. Spearmen are cheap trash units, don't cost any gold, just food and wood, and then archers are going to cost me wood and gold. And I'll probably just be sort of trying to draw his army out into this area and then attacking downhill, draw his army out, attacking downhill. There's not much else I can do until I reach the Imperial Age, unless I build a siege workshop, but siege workshops are easily destroyed and I much prefer trebuchet, so trying to get the Imperial Age before my opponent, build a couple of castles, and then use trebuchets to destroy the buildings and just work towards their base now. He still has a score lead ahead of me, so I reckon he's got a bigger army than me, but here I am, researching crossbowmen, researching pikemen, not researching Bodkin Arrow, and he's up to the Castle Age with a 500 point lead now. I've got fletching, and I've got the first archer armour, but here we go, some crossbowmen, and a little bit of his army. Now he's all skirmishers here, not a problem. Full age skirmishers, no great upgrades, and then I've also got the hill advantage. I'm going to make quick work of this. His army hasn't been upgraded, and mine is going to fare a lot better. Now he does have some knights he's worried about, so I'm going to use my pikemen to focus out his knights. Now knights are countered. No, sorry, spearmen are countered by these skirmishers, which he's got a fair few of. But I've got my 3 barracks, and they should be making lots of pikemen to counter his knights. And then I've got all these crossbowmen sitting on top of the hill, taking out his feudal age skirmishers, no problems whatsoever. And I'm keeping my spearmen back at the moment. There's no point in them being out. And I'm winning handily, like I'm destroying his army, sitting at the top of the hill. This is easy stuff. So here I'm going to move in, try and find any military units of his. Like he's just trickling them in, and I'm taking them out before they even get to me. I see a knight, I'm thinking, oh, I really don't want to be facing a knight. But with the number of archers I've got, I'm not too fussed. Now if you gather all the units together and then patrol them, the spearmen will rush to the front, and I've got a nice big army, and I think I'm still producing from all my barracks, I'm still producing from all my archer ranges. Now the thing about Age of Empires is constant production. If you don't have constant production, you'll fall behind, and you're going to end up losing the game. So if you've got military buildings, the best thing to do is to make sure that you're producing out of them, otherwise you're just a waste of resources. If you can't produce, if you build 3 archer ranges and you can only produce out of 2 of them because you don't have the economy, what a waste. You should have never built the 3rd one. You should just concentrate on what you can build. So you see that I don't have that many villagers on gold, only 3 at the moment. I wonder where the other ones went. Oh, they went up here to build a town centre, to mine this gold. So I am a little bit worried that I can't produce constantly out of 3 archer ranges, so I've just got the 2 at the moment, and just creating these 2 units with a few skirmishers thrown in here and there. I think they're probably misclicks, let's be honest. But this composition, oh, house population capped at 110. Am I building houses? No, I am not. But that's what happens when you're building lots of military units all at once. Their knights not really getting to my archery units, and I've got these little spearmen running out. These are not playing the game properly. They're going ahead. They're going to get themselves killed. I have noticed a lumber camp up here, so I've split off some crossbowmen and set them in countless divisions, scattering all their villagers. And they're going to stop here and they're going to start firing, and I'm going to get some good villager kills there, sending all the spearmen that survive, sending them back. And I'm a little bit worried at this point, actually. I'm thinking I don't have as many military units as I would perhaps like. I've built a siege workshop here, but I can tell you for one, I did not use it. I probably shouldn't have built it, there was no point. But I'm a little bit worried here, so I'm retreat to the back to the hill at the front of my base. I know these moving here, but then I forget about them. This monk drew away a lot of my army. I don't get them back for a few minutes at least, but I've got some crossbowmen up here, disrupting the economy. But you see, these are not going to last long. So try and keep my army together as much as possible, but I don't have that many left up here. These guys are going to be sitting idle, they're not doing anything, I've forgotten about them, and I'm still producing out of all my military buildings, which is good to see. As I say, you need to produce. There is no point building the building if you can't produce out of it. So I'm producing villagers here, producing villagers here, producing villagers here. I've got houses building. It's all going pretty well at the moment. But you can see he's got a few knights here, and I'm a little bit worried, so hopefully down here I figure that I've still got some units left. Now, do I have the upgrades necessary? Yes, I've got the Bodkin arrow. I do notice these military units down here, bring them back up to the hill. Oh, a villager went down. Try as much as possible to stick to this ground here. Taking the units back, patrolling them in, trying to get through the value out of my trash units by destroying his knight. Not going too aggressive, just drawing his army out, building my army up, constantly producing, but as you can see, this siege workshop, done nothing, not made a single one. I've got a monastery building over here, and the simple reason for that is I've noticed I've got the resources to go up to the next stage, but I don't have the building, so I need to build a monastery. As soon as I build the monastery, I think it's this one over here, gets the Imperial Age upgrade. Oh, there's a few villages to be made first. But as you can see, I'm producing out of every town centre. I'm producing out of the barracks at the moment, that's great. I'm producing out of the archer ranges, and I've got a nice little army here. And he's got nothing. So I think the crossbowman spearman mix was good for me. And I'm sitting at the front of my base. A one villager flex coming to build a castle, I think. I've got my barracks producing again, lots of pikemen. I've got my archer ranges, they're producing crossbow, they're creating skirmishers, and I started researching the Imperial Age. So it's all going very well for me. 40 minutes into the game, not doing too badly. I've got a brilliant score lead, about 800 points in the lead. Very happy with that, and I'm just keeping my army at the front of my base, in front of his base, using the hill advantage. If you don't know, we take half as much damage from the downhill unit and deal twice as much damage. So you want to be on top of the hill because you get a huge advantage on this snowball. So keeping my units at the top of the hill, fighting downhill, which is good for me. I'm really not letting him take the lead now. What is best in Age of Empires is to be raiding, and one of the best units for that is the light cavalry. So having your main army at the front, and then a few light cavalry just running around his farmland. Just not even, you don't even have to kill villagers, just get them off the farms, get them off the gold. That's good. But you do need the armor upgrades for that. So I didn't actually do that in this game, but if you're getting later on in the game, I'd probably do scout cavalry if you can. get them the armor, get them the attack upgrades from the blacksmith, and then 10 to 15 just running through farmland, trying to disrupt their farming as much as possible. So I'm almost in the Imperial Age, and I'll have to build some castles pretty soon. But here he's building a bit of an army. I'm not worried at all. I've got lots of spearmen, I've got some archers, some skirmishers. This is a piece of cake. But the idea is to be constantly creating. So this whole time, I've been creating pikemen, I've been creating crossbowmen, and in my further back barracks here, I'm making halberdiers. So I'm upgrading my pikemen to halberdiers, so they're going to be much stronger. They're going to take the knights down much more easily. I do really like that the halberdier technology. And really not posing any threat to me at all. He's not touched my economy, he's not interrupted any of my villagers. My kill to death ratio is going to be pretty high, I think. Pretty happy with all that. And I do have halberdiers, so they're much stronger. 6 attack versus 4. So it's a 50% increase versus what they were. And that's upgraded in terms of their attack stat. And they've got heavy advantages against the cavalry line. So it looks like my opponent's going for knights here. Chinese knights, pretty good. They get discount technology, so no excuse to not upgrade them. And I've got the perfect counter in halberdier. And you can see a 1-on-1 fight. I'm taking very little damage. Pretty pleased with that. Pretty pleased now. I should be looking to go for a castle soon, so I've transitioned more villagers onto stone in order to save up the 650 stone that I need in order to get the castle. I think I'm going to put a few more over here onto this stone here. I want to get that castle as soon as possible because that's when I'm going to start making trebuchets. But I've got a huge lead, 2,000 point lead, almost 1,900 point lead against my opponent, and I'm still creating. No archers at the moment, but I'm still creating halberdiers out to my barracks at least. So my economy is booming, looking really comfortable. 2,000 odd gold, almost 3,000 wood, food. Sorry, running a little bit low on wood, but I am making a lot of farms. My farming economy is looking pretty decent, and my wood economy was for a long time very inefficient, a lot of travel time. So I've started to get villagers being created out of this town centre. They're going to be chopping the wood for me. I've moved some villagers back over to this lumber camp and built a second lumber camp so they don't have as far to walk. And oh, my stone count has gone down. That can only mean one thing. Yep, I'm making a castle. So I've got a few villagers here making a castle on the hill. So it's not an aggressive castle. It's not a castle that is protecting any resources, really. I'm not too concerned about my resources. I mean, I do know that I go over to this gold eventually as the game goes on. This is such a comfortable game for me. I really don't think the AI was trying very hard. You can see how that initial man-at-arms play at the beginning with a few skirmishers, a few man-at-arms, not just 3 man-at-arms, but a fair few man-at-arms, how that really helped me cement the win. Stopped him coming forward and rushing me, got rid of his early army, really got no problems whatsoever. So I've got these villages over here, they're going to be chopping some wood just while I wait for this castle to be built, and I'm already making trebuchets, and I'm going to keep them in the castle so they don't get attacked, and I'm going to save them up, so they're going to stay in the castle until I've got 3 or 4, and then I'm going to come out and start destroying these buildings here. I'm not going to rush into the middle and then try and destroy his town centre. No point in that. I'm going to try and just erode him. Now, I see here he's got a Chuko now. It's the first one I've seen to record. I'm pretty sure I did notice it, but he is using really units. He has a castle. I can hear that I'm still producing. I've produced an army sound. It's always going on. Halberdier, 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 crossbowman, crossbowman. I'm producing the whole time, and I've got one trebuchet in here. The flags are up, so I'm holding back a little bit. Just allowing my army to stay at the front of the castle. Not letting them to go in here, because in here they're just going to get wrecked. I want them to be in an open space. I don't want them in these choke points and bottlenecks. But yeah, he's thrown a lot of gold away with those knights. Knights are quite gold intensive, and he's just throwing them away. And I stand by my mix of units. I've got some trash, and I've got some more trash, and then I've got the crossbowmen, and I've still got these man-at-arms. Well, I reckon I made them quite recently as I missed what I was supposed to be making how many years. But now I've got 3 trebuchets. Probably going to wait till the 4th one is ready before I move out. And I'm kind of worried. He does have a lot of army compared to the last sort of 10 minutes or so. He's got more army coming in. So I'm a little bit worried. I'm going to pull back any minute now. I don't want them fighting the choke points, especially against these French units. So I'm going to pull it back and drop his army towards my castle. Here we have my 4 trebuchets, and I'm going to park my army in front of the trebuchets, and then allow them to destroy the barracks, etc. And I think down here I'm making a mini university and researching chemistry straight away. So that just been built, making chemistry straight away. So I got rid of this, I think it was a barracks that was here. This trebuchet is getting packed, and I'm a little bit further forward, and I've still got the big maid. It's just goes a little bit further forward, but the bugging out here, the packing's not great. And his army is retreating, so I think I'm just going to stay in this area here, hopefully draw out his army a little bit further, try and get rid of some of these buildings that form the choke point, get rid of this. I've only got 2 attempts firing, and I've got 3 here doing nothing, so hopefully I'll realise that. I'm going to move them into a good spot, and that's the sound I like to hear. I'm at the 200 mark. I have maxed out my population. I've got roughly 100 villagers, roughly 100 military units. That's the sound I like to hear. And his buildings are melting under the trebuchet fire. That's the chemistry. Research complete, and I'm actually doing flaming arrows. I've got flaming projectiles from the trebuchet. His buildings are going down, dropping like flies. The choke point has now disappeared almost entirely, and it's much easier for me to fight in this area. So here I'm going to move forward, another castle. Now, if you're playing against a human, the advice is not to build your castles too close together. In fact, if you're playing against another real person, I think one of the best things to do is your first few castles, have them dotted around your farms to protect against raiding from light cavalry, and then start building them on the front. But as you can see, I will build them behind my Deathfall army. So I've got 2 castles, and I've got enough gold for another one, so I'm probably going to build another one sort of in this area, I think. I'm not too worried. Now, the reason you don't want to build them too close together is because if your opponent has trebuchets, here's another castle, if your opponent has trebuchets, if one castle goes down, the second castle's going to go down. So here's my 3rd castle. He's got Elite Skirmisher, he's got Shukanu, he's got monks, he's got light cavalry because it doesn't have the gold to make knights anymore. And this, if it wasn't for the castles, the trebuchets, everything, so it's going to be a little bit hairy for me. His army is creeping up, and I think, despite all I've said this recording, I've stopped reducing. I got to 200, it was like, okay, that should be enough, I'll be able to finish him off. No. Oh, another castle number 4, right in the middle of this town. kind of flexing on him a little bit. But if you're playing against a person, as I say, you wouldn't want to have this castles to scale it. You want the castles to protect resources as well. So there's a gold down here, and this castle's protecting this gold. There's a stone over here, this castle's protecting this stone. If I was to build another castle, maybe build a town centre up here, though that's not ideal. Use it to protect resources, but I'm not too worried. He's not going to stop this castle going up. And I've got my army coming in different sides. It's basically done. You can see his villagers are just wandering around, going to the town centre, leaving the town centre. That disruption enough is good for me, and I'm no caning anymore about sending my units underneath the town centre. I'll let them fight there. I've got plenty of units, and I know that these trebuchets will be coming any moment now to finish off this town centre. I just want to kill the villagers, disrupt this economy as much as possible. The longer there are villagers in this town centre, the better for me. Even though some factions get thrown away, that's absolutely fine. But I'm now at 165 population. I don't really notice it being too bad. I do know I've got some more units back here, and it looks like I'm producing again. I've got halberdiers, I've got some crossbowmen, but my production has fallen a little bit shy. If you're playing against a real person, as I say, you want to keep producing the whole game. You want to reduce your villagers until you've got 100 villagers, or half your population cap, and you want to be producing military at all times. And you want to have a good mix. You don't want to just go for one kind. I think it's much better to go for a good mix now. The gold I was talking about, I do go down here to mining camps to try and make it as efficient as possible, but this is quite a small gold patch and there's a little bit of crowding, a lot of bumping into one another, so not so efficient, but later on in the game, not such a big deal. I didn't have enough gold for another castle, sorry, enough stone for another castle, so I did build a watchtower here, and I've discovered he's got another town centre at the top, another town centre over here, and I think he's got a castle somewhere here, so send my trebuchets up. I'm thinking, where's my army? I've got some melee units here, some units over here, but I really don't have a huge amount, so what am I thinking of doing? Well, we'll see. Getting rid of this town centre, which is good. Getting rid of these villagers that are over here. Waiting as much as I can. I do think using trebuchets is probably the most efficient way to destroy your enemy town. And then all his villagers are heading north. And here there's a castle, and there is a town centre up here, and all his villagers are heading in this direction. But he does have quite a lot of Chukonu, which will counter my halberdiers quite nicely, actually, kind of dangerous. We've got lots of Chukonu and skirmishers, and that's going to be very bad for me. I'm going to have 59, so what do I consider doing? I'm making elephant archers. I've got the resources for it. I'm making elephant archers because they're going to counter what he's got for me. I like to have a unique unit. So he's advanced up to the Imperial Age. Wasted resources for him. He probably shouldn't have done it. Should have gone more into the Castle Age. But look at these elephant archers. They have 280 XP versus the Chukunus. Oh, that one died. 45. So huge amount of XP. They're really tanky, and they're going to take out. I'll be able to withstand a lot of fire. And I've got they create actually quite quickly. I think they're probably about a minute to create, and I've got so many castles. It's easy for me just to pop them out. How many elephant archers I've got? 3, 6, 8 elephant archers, and his Chukunu are going down fast. Look how much damage this one can take. This one tanks 2, 3, 4, 5 shots probably to take out a Chukunu. and whereas Shikunu's got to deliver a lot of shots to the Elfin Archer to take it out. And it looks like I've only lost one. I might have lost another one. He's got lots of villagers up here. They're not going to stand a lot of fire. Elfin Archer is looking good. Oh, look how inefficient he is. He's got so many villagers and they're all crowding around. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what to do. This town centre is not going to last long either. I've got my 4 trebuchets here. Also trying to build a university. Good one. This town centre over here is going to melt. Oh, there must be a castle over here that I didn't know about. Oh, there is a castle over here. I thought there was only the one. But yeah, this town centre is going to go down pretty quickly. Another couple of shots. I think even before the town centre goes down. Oh, must be some staff there. But I feel like I'm doing pretty well in this game. All these villages are up north here. Villagers dropping like flies. This is the bracer we research completed. Making these even more powerful. There we go. When I commanded peasants to hunt the boar, it slew him. No wonder thou art victorious, I shall abdicate. And I actually managed to get an achievement this game, no stone left standing. So, demolished a lot of buildings. There's not much to say about this game. The thing is, you need to make sure that you are producing. Early games, or Dark Age, early to mid Feudal Age, you're always producing villagers non-stop, and then Castle Age, you're producing villagers until you have 100, and then when you get to the Castle Age and beyond, late Feudal Age, Castle Age, Imperial Age, you want to make sure that you are producing military units at all times. It's all about producing the units, getting the good economy so you can produce the units. Yeah, that's really important. But then when you get to a point where you can continuously produce, do it, continually produce. Make sure you're always going back and checking your barracks, your stables, your archer ranges, making sure that you are producing units at all times. So let's have a quick look at the statistics, see what went down. My score was more than double his military stats. I killed a huge number of his units and lost only 300 on. Just under 300, raised 73 buildings and had an army of 102, which means I had about 98 villagers. My economy, I didn't collect as much food or wood, collected the same amount of stone and not nearly as much gold. My technology count was much less, but I did advance the castle and then the Imperial Age before he did. The society stats, 4 castles in total for each of us, didn't get any relics. And he had a villager high of 126. So I think he went a little bit over the top when it came to villagers. He had too many. I had 98, which is about perfect. And then have a look at the timeline. Just really, we probably had the same military count in the Feudal Age. This is where I went and attacked, and then we rise and fell with each other. But when it got to about the 30 to 35 minute mark, he was no longer able to produce. He saved up a little bit, produced just before he went to the Imperial Age, but by that point there was too big a gap and there was nothing he could do. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. No, thanks for watching this video. I hope you find it entertaining. Leave a like, comment if you enjoyed it, if you've got any more tips for me, and don't forget to subscribe.